Let me ask you a simple question. Why are you investing in a boiler? Is it to achieve carbon neutrality or move toward net zero? Or is your main goal simply to reduce steam production costs as fuel prices continue to rise? Your answer will determine the entire direction of your investment. Welcome back to DIVI's channel, where we share practical experience and real-world industrial solutions. Today's topic is how to make a smart investment in an industrial boiler. Many factory owners think buying a boiler is simply purchasing another piece of equipment. As long as it runs reliably and the investment cost is low, they believe that's enough. So they contact a few familiar suppliers or search online for more options. But every supplier offers a different recommendation. That often makes the decision confusing, especially if you're not deeply familiar with boiler technology. As a result, many people choose the lowest priced option. A few years later, unexpected problems begin to appear, and upgrading the system becomes unavoidable. In this video, I'll show you how to make a smarter, more effective, and more informed boiler investment. So years from now, you won't regret the decision you make today. But first, you need to answer a few important questions. First, do you care about carbon neutrality? Second, is achieving net zero one of your company's goals? Third, how important is environmental protection to your business? Or is your main priority simply minimizing steam production costs? As long as the boiler operates reliably and complies with government regulations. Why do these questions matter? Because they lead to two very different investment strategies. Let's examine both approaches. Then we'll combine them to identify the most practical solution for your factory. If your products are exported to developed markets such as Europe, Japan, or South Korea, your factory will need to align with environmental goals, carbon neutrality, and net zero commitments. Many customers in these markets already expect their suppliers to meet these sustainability standards. This is not just about meeting customer requirements. It is also part of every company's responsibility to contribute to environmental sustainability. So, how can your boiler system help achieve these goals? One effective approach is to use biomass fuel. But why does biomass support these environmental goals? As you know, biomass absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere as plants grow. When biomass is burned, that carbon is released back into the atmosphere. Because the carbon absorbed during growth is roughly equal to the carbon released during combustion, biomass is considered carbon neutral and supports net zero objectives. Fossil fuels such as oil, coal, and natural gas are different. Their carbon has been stored underground for millions of years. As a result, fossil fuels contribute to greenhouse gas emissions and global warming. So where can we obtain biomass fuel? Vietnam is fortunate to have abundant plantation forests and agricultural resources. We also have two major agricultural regions, the Red River Delta and the Mekong Delta. These regions produce a large amount of rice husk, which is widely used as boiler fuel. In addition, nearly 3/4 of Vietnam consists of mountainous and forested areas. Many of these areas are covered with plantation forests, such as acacia, eucalyptus, rubber, and cinnamon. As a result, Vietnam harvests a substantial volume of timber every year. The wood processing, furniture, and plywood industries are also expanding rapidly to support exports. These industries generate large amounts of wood residues that can be used as biomass fuel for boilers. Biomass fuel is readily available in almost every province across Vietnam. Since biomass resources are continuously replenished, they also provide an important source of income for many farming and forestry communities. In most cases, fuel availability is not the main concern. The real question is which biomass fuel offers the lowest steam production cost. Biomass certainly has many advantages, but what are its drawbacks? Based on nearly 20 years of experience using biomass fuels, I've found that their biggest challenge is price stability. Biomass fuel prices can fluctuate when global events or seasonal conditions affect supply. Take 2022, for example, when the Russia-Ukraine conflict began. European countries significantly increased their imports of biomass from Vietnam to help replace Russian natural gas supplies during the winter. As a result, biomass fuel prices rose by 2 to 3 times. At the same time, the prices of coal, oil, and many other fuels also increased dramatically. Another situation occurs when there is a poor harvest over a large area. Rice husk becomes less available, driving prices upward. In some cases, the price can even approach that of imported rice husk from neighboring countries. During these periods, rice husk prices may increase by 50 to 100%, for 1 to 3 months. A third situation is when plantation forests are affected by storms or prolonged rainfall. These conditions make harvesting more difficult and can temporarily increase biomass fuel prices. So what should we do if biomass fuel becomes difficult to obtain? The answer depends on your boiler technology. If your boiler can burn multiple fuels, such as Indonesian coal, oil, or gas, switching to an alternative fuel can keep your factory running. Over nearly 2 decades of working with biomass boilers, operating steam supply projects, and delivering hundreds of boilers across Vietnam, I've witnessed this type of market fluctuation 3 times. Only in 2022 did we come close to a serious fuel shortage. In the other cases, the impact was limited to short-term price fluctuations. So in general, you can be confident using biomass fuel for your boiler system. Now that we've covered the first perspective, let's move on to the second. If your products are not exported and your business is not subject to sustainability commitments, then your primary concern is likely achieving the lowest possible steam production cost. As long as the boiler operates safely and complies with current regulations, it will meet your requirements. To determine which fuel provides the lowest steam production cost, we need to consider 2 key factors. First, the purchase price of the fuel. Second, how much fuel is required to produce 1 ton of steam. Combining these 2 values gives us the fuel cost per ton of steam. From there, we can identify the most economical fuel. This chart shows the steam production cost for fossil fuels. And this chart shows the cost of producing 1 ton of steam using biomass fuels. When we compare the 2 charts side by side, it's clear that biomass fuels produce steam at a much lower cost than fossil fuels. Among fossil fuels, imported Indonesian coal offers a steam production cost that is relatively close to biomass. So, if your goal is to minimize steam production costs, biomass fuels together with Indonesian coal are the most cost-effective fuel options. The next step is to evaluate your factory's location. Within a radius of about 50 to 100 kilometers, identify the fuel that is most abundant and has the most stable price. That will help you achieve the lowest long-term steam production cost. Now you know which fuels can deliver the lowest operating cost. The next question is, which boiler technology can use these fuels efficiently? Today, more than 80% of newly installed biomass boilers use fluidized bed boiler technology. It is a modern and advanced technology that can burn a wide variety of fuels. From biomass fuels to imported coal, it offers excellent fuel flexibility. Most recently, one of DIVI's customers, a TH Group dairy factory, achieved past 2060 carbon neutrality certification after replacing its heavy fuel oil, FO boiler, with a biomass-fired fluidized bed boiler. This fuel conversion saves the factory tens of billions of Vietnamese dong every year. DIVI is proud to be the boiler supplier and steam service provider for this project. DIVI also operates biomass-fired fluidized bed boiler systems to supply steam to 4 KIDO Group factories. The Duc Giang Chemicals Group, Nam Kim Group, SCG of Thailand, and many other leading companies are also using this technology. As you can see, leading manufacturers are making long-term investment decisions. So why not take the same long-term approach? None of this may be new to you. You may have heard it before. I've simply organized it in a way that's easier to understand. If you'd like to learn more about DIVI's fluidized bed boilers, with a 5-year warranty and an automatic cleaning system that cleans the heat transfer surfaces every shift without manual labor, please feel free to contact DIVI directly. I hope you found this information valuable. If you're planning to invest in a new boiler system, don't make a decision before getting the right technical advice. Contact DIVI using the hotline in the video description. We'll help you choose the right solution and avoid costly mistakes. Thank you for watching.